Hello, and thank you for tuning in for Purge of the Serpentholds. This is Season 1, Episode 12, Unflinching Vision. I'm Corinne of Roll the Roll. I'm known as Manic Pixie Girl on Twitter. I hope everyone has been washing their hands and maintaining social distance, if they can. Before we jump into the recap, I have a few announcements I'd like to make, as always. Firstly, I'd like to thank Ryan at Simulcray on Twitter for that theme song he created for us. You just heard it during that starting soon screen. I'm going to post a link to him right now. If you need a theme song or if you need narration, he does a really great job. He has a new computer, so hit him up. I'd also like to thank the Onyx Path for inviting us to run this show. If you haven't picked up the Scarred Lands Player Guide yet, you can get it via PDF from Drive-Thru RPG or in print from Indie Press Revolution. I'm going to link both those for you. And currently, Onyx Path is also running the Kickstarter for Technocracy Reloaded, a supplement for Mage the Ascension 20th Anniversary Edition. With 19 days to go, they have already blown past their original goal and have funded over $139K. If they can hit $143K in funding, the Technocracy Reloaded Player's Companion Unlikely Allies 3 will be unlocked and added to the PDF supplement. This is a guide to cross-faction play and incorporating street-level orphans into a campaign. Let me link you right here.
While you're posting that, on my screen for the stream, your audio comes through just clear, but we're all frozen.
Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Oh.
Let me see if does that fix it? Everybody wave at the camera. Okay, that fixed it. Cool. Yeah. It was Zoom. You fixed it. Thank you very much. Good call. At least this time it didn't break it forever. All right. And now that we fixed that, finally, if you'd like to support this show, check out our Ko-Fi. Link is in the chat like every time. And everything that goes to that helps make this show better. Without further ado, I'd like to pass the floor to the players. Introduce yourselves, tell us a little about your characters, and then we can get on with the show. This time, who did we start with last time? I can't remember. Did we go bottom up or top down?
I think Shawnee last time?
Okay,
Yeah,
so...
I think I started.
Okay, we'll go top down this time. Hiromi, you're up.
Hi, I'm Hiromi. I play Zasa, the Asathi Wizard, making me a lizard wizard. I am also one of the writers for Technocracy Reloaded and the Scarred Lands, although I don't know what's going to happen next, so it's all an adventure for me as well.
Very nice. Candy, you're up.
Hi, I am Candy. I play Kai, the itty-bitty tin-can halfling paladin. I DM for Dicey Amazons as well.
And Dicey Amazons is great. Megan, you're up.
Hello, friends and enemies. My name is Megan. I will be playing for you and your amusement today Caravan. She is a blood-stained Triton monk. She has anger issues. They're getting through it. It's fine. Everything's going great.
Very good, very good. Rune.
Hello, I'm Rune. I am playing Marigold, the extra incarnate college of
It's okay, we believe in you.
Bard, who's real good at talking.
I
do
understood
art
all of that.
shit. What's up?
We're a little bit struggle busing today. I hope everybody is okay with that. Shawnee, you're up.
I'm Shawnee. I play Shaho, a Manticore Ranger with a proficiency in land vehicles, so I drove the heck out of that cart.
Yes, you did. You did a great job last week, basically saving everybody's butt against those spiders. Okay, so a lot of things happened last week. One of the things is you outwitted a bunch of spiders with Shawnee's driving. Shaho took that cart and just killed it. And then with Zasa's grease spell, which made the spiders all slippery, which was fun.
Some spiders for you.
Yes, some very greasy spiders. And then, well, I'm trying to think of the order of events here. Then you all reached the pit that you were going to. You had the coordinates that you were following, and as you got got there, you saw that there was a tipped-over wagon and a couple of corpses. Does anyone kind of want to take it from there on what happened?
Sure.
Alright.
So the corpses belonged to an earlier party that was sent out for the same purposes we were. So we knew that they were around, and now we know what happened to them. Interestingly enough, they got killed by a group of Manticora, and as it turns out, the Manticora were in turn killed by a crown naga, a two-headed giant serpent that we did not want to fuck with at all, except Caravan, who wanted to fuck with in a very different way. So, about that. As everyone in the party except Caravan was trying to figure out, oh, okay, should we fight? Should we sneak? What are we going to do? Caravan went up to the Crown Naga and said, hey, you're pretty cool. I'm pretty cool. Let's go over here and talk. And long story short, Caravan has a date with both of the heads of the Naga to get drinks, I think, and potentially a day at the beach, I think. So.
Yeah, the party took a pretty unexpected route there, and that falls on Caravan. She decided to woo the Crown Naga, and now she has a pair of girlfriends who sent you all basically the Nagas, Nev and Narcissa, sent you to get the eye from the pit. You were able to, or Caravan was able to kind of tell the truth in a way that was technically true, but made the Naga, believe that people are getting the pieces together to put them together, which some people are. It's not necessarily a lie. And Caravan believed what she was saying, so she wasn't really lying. And she was given a ton of gold by the Crown Naga to go get this eye. She is currently in the pit trying to get the eye and just found it in this giant pool of water. Let me transition to the map. And here's the eye. I believe, yeah, there it is. It is at the bottom of a pit. There's the pit, and then there is a pool of water down at the bottom that's surrounded by greenery. And Caravan was being lowered down with levitate. Yes, it was levitate. And then she just ducked her head under to get a look when she saw this giant eye staring, unblinking, up from the bottom of this little lake here.
All right. As an important reminder to all of my party mates, we have poison resistance. So keep that in mind, because I feel like some shit's going down. So, if I recall correctly, also, you said across the way, which I think is going to be over here, is like a smooth path leading away?
Yes, yeah. Over here, where I'm pinging, let me show that on stream as well. There we go. Over here, it looks like a path has been kind of hacked into the greenery. And you also see that there's kind of some dark marks on the ground. If you were to get closer, you'd be able to identify what it is more. But even just looking at it on the map, you can probably tell that that's blood that is on the ground here, leading up through this path.
Okay, Caravan, I'm pretty sure, screamed when she saw the eye initially, because this is nightmare fuel. And then she will recover her composure. And she's going to use her mental link to call back to Zasa, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Or Marigold.
And a Marigold.
Both of you? Okay. I found the eye. It's really, really big. Like, I don't know how we're gonna get this in a bag. It's huge.
How big?
Like, if I were gonna put it in terms of 5-foot squares, I would say 4x4.
That's a very unusual measurement to be using. But
Well, we have to do that sort of thing underwater because everything's kind of three-dimensional, so we do things like cubically.
That's a lot of words.
I do have scrolls of enlarge reduce, so
Okay, that's very good.
I
Because this
guess
is a giant eyeball, it's gonna be
I have
wet.
to go down for it.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Also, good news, there's across the water, there's like a little path that somebody cleared, and it's only maybe a little bloodstained, so maybe there were some survivors.
Only a little bit. Oh, well.
And then Caravan is going to start. I know she can't really do lateral movement with levitate, but she's just going to kind of start, since she's basically on the top of the water, doggy paddling half in the water to propel herself over to the cleared side of the brush.
Okay. Yeah, I think, as long as, you know, the people levitating you let you do so, I think you'd be able to kind of move yourself. You'd be able to, like, grab onto things, to propel yourself over there. So you reach the edge, and as you get closer, you're able to make out some more details. It definitely looks like the greenery here has been hacked away. You would think maybe by, like, a sword or a machete. But there is definitely blood on the ground. It looks like maybe there was an impact of some sort, and then like something or someone was dragged upward down this path as it was made. I'd like you to roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
This can't be good. Do, do, do.
I'm sure it's fine. Well, I click the button. Is it rolling or not?
It may be
I'm
thinking
gonna
hard.
click it again. If it double rolls, just... Oh, there it goes. Hey!
Hey!
Nat 20!
Yeah.
So with that nat 20, you hear some voices. They're a fair ways away, and they're kind of echoing because you are in a weird cavernous pit. But you are able to make out some of the words. Give me just a moment here. You hear what sounds like two voices talking. They are talking kind of hushed, as if they don't want to be too loud, so it's a little bit hard to understand. But you do hear something like, I don't know what, and then you hear, well, we have to do, and then there's a little bit more. It seems like you're picking up the higher points of the conversation where their voices raise a little bit. They sound like they're agitated. But it seems to be coming from this direction, like over here. You know that if you kept walking, you might be able to get closer to the sound, maybe hear a little bit more.
Does it sound like two distinct voices or more than two?
You're hearing two distinct voices. One is deeper, sounds more masculine. The other sounds a little bit higher, a little more feminine.
Okay. Are they speaking in common?
Yes, they are speaking in common.
Okay. She's going to... She just pulled herself out of the water, basically. She hears these. She's crouching, even though she's not hiding behind anything. Stand through there. I hear at least two people. They're arguing about something. They don't sound super nice because they're arguing, but they are speaking Lydian, so maybe it's okay. I don't know, but just to be aware of. They're probably people that Narcissa and Nev threw in the pit to die, and then they didn't die.
Terrific.
So maybe they've been mutated by the poison. Or maybe they're just normal people who have a different entrance.
Right.
It could be Manticora.
It could be Manticora.
I think we should probably all head down there at this point.
Yeah, I don't want to be by myself with this giant unblinking eye. It's really unnerving.
Is all the foliage around it poison?
I'm not going to touch it to find out.
You would need to roll a nature check, Caravan, if you wanted to check and see if all this is poison.
Oh God, I'm so good at knowing things. She will sigh at the question and lean in and kind of peer at the closest one.
Well, you
19
can
actually.
send me a telepathic image and I could draw it, but or you know.
So, Caravan, with that 19, you don't know much about nature, but you do recognize a lot of these plants from other Serpentholds that you've been to. You're thinking that if they're not poisonous, it's probably pretty weird that they look so much like the other plants that were poisonous.
I mean, I can't say for sure because I don't know a lot about plants, except for, I don't know, water plants. These aren't water plants. These are like serpenthold plants, and those tend to be angry, though. So I think it's probably safe to say that they're poisonous, or at least really itchy.
Delightful.
I mean, if someone has like a long enough cloak that I can borrow, I can go down on Komodo because he can climb down. But I would need to wrap up to avoid the poison.
Oh, I've probably got something costumey in here, if that might work.
Worth a shot.
You're much small. I forget you're much smaller than me. No, this will be
Yes.
this will be fine. I'll just pull out a spare cloak and drape it over Shaho. But Marigold is like 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
How tall did I put Marigold being? 6'3". So a cloak that reaches the ground on him is probably like a wedding train behind Shaho.
It will like bundle me in it, and I'll attach myself to Komodo with the harnesses and everything.
Hey, Shaho. Guess what?
What?
You're a burrito, and I'm gonna poop you with inspiration. So take 1d4 down with you.
So that'll take care of Shaho, but not necessarily Komodo. So
the rest of us.
Zasa's
Well,
gonna
he's a poison. Well, it is.
Zasa's gonna acid splash all the way down, or at least 60 feet down.
Okay.
Hopefully that gets close enough.
Yeah, I'd say that's enough to get most of the way down. And especially because, like, it's acid, I feel like it would kind of keep dripping because it's going actively down. So, yeah. I'd say with an acid splash, you'd be able to clear a path that would mostly clear the way. And since Komodo is a poisonous lizard, I feel he would have some resistances already. Maybe not enough to resist Serpenthold poison, but enough that now that you've cleared most of it away, it's probably safe to go down. Shaho, with your class, do you still need to make animal handling checks for lizards, or do you get advantage or something?
Well, it says that he obeys my commands.
Okay, so if he's obeying your commands, I think you would be able to get him to climb down something, considering wall climbing is something he just does. So,
Wall hacks.
yes. he just does it. So, yeah, you're able to climb down. As you get lower and lower, you kind of feel the weight of this eye staring up at you. Especially now knowing that it's down there in this pool of water just looking up at you. Even without actually being able to see it, you kind of feel this heaviness settle upon you. Basically the feeling of being watched. Much like you all felt like you were being watched by Narcissa and Nev. This time, though, it's definitely an eerier feeling. It's kind of like the feeling of somebody walking over your grave as you get closer and closer and closer to this eye.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Is your hair standing up on end?
Yeah, my fur's standing up on end.
So you are able to get down there. Which section of the pit were you climbing down? Were you trying to come down near where this hacked out area is, or were you trying a different area? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I don't want to get in the water.
Okay, so you're avoiding the water. All right. And Caravan, I would like you to just roll a Constitution check with advantage for me from when you were in the water earlier.
Okay.
I just want to see how you're feeling now that you're out of it.
I feel great, Corinne. Thank you for asking.
You feel fantastic. You know, maybe it's because you're used to swimming in the water that's, been mixed with Titan blood. Maybe it's just because you had that fantastic herbal remedy before you went down. Or, maybe it's some other reason, but you feel like this water hasn't affected you at all. But you feel like maybe it could have been bad.
I would like to. Is everybody starting to come down now? Or is it just Shaho?
No.
Zasa's gonna levitate herself and then hand a rope to someone.
Well, if other people are starting to come down, since I'm amphibious and have a swim speed and everything, I want to try to go down and get the eye and bring it up close enough that Zasa could see it to do her thing.
Okay, so you're going to try and kind of make it come closer to the top so that Zasa doesn't have to get in the water.
I got them big old fish eyes. I can see a little better, and it might not be within line of sight for Zasa otherwise. So
Okay, yeah, it is kind of down in the water. It is obscured. The only reason you were able to see it so easily is because you're used to seeing underwater and have fantastic dark vision. So you get back in the water. Now that you're in it again, you definitely feel that this water is... it's pretty toxic. You're used to toxic water being a thing, something that you have to look out for. But, your entire, I would say your entire family group is a group that has been mutated by water, something similar to this, even if it's a little bit different. As you would have to swim down to the bottom to get close to the eye. It is kind of floating down near the bottom, weighed down by the weight of itself. How are you going to try and lift it? Are you just going to get under it and push, or are you going to do something else?
I think that's probably the best plan just because it's so big, and I'm assuming it's an eyeball, so it's round and doesn't really have handholds, unless there's, eyelashes I can pull on or something. Yeah, she's probably just going to go underneath and try to heft that bad boy up.
Okay. Yeah, so as you get underneath it, the feeling of being watched lessens because they can't see you anymore. You're underneath it. But you do see that, dangling behind it is the ocular nerve, I believe, kind of swaying in the water.
The retina?
Yeah, what's the word for that?
Yeah.
I think ocular nerve. I think that's the right one.
Yeah.
The optic nerve. That's what it is. So yeah, you see the optic nerve kind of, attached to the back of the eye, wiggling around in the water. You don't think it can propel itself, but you don't necessarily want to test that either. I would assume.
Well, Caravan's not very smart. She is wiser, though, so she can make decent decisions. My thought was, when you were saying it, was a string I can pull to bring it up. Is it more like acting like a whip or a tail or something? Does it seem to...
Oh, bless you.
Sorry.
That's okay. It seems to be following... not quite the current of the water, because the water doesn't have too much of a current, but it seems to just kind of be floating in the water kind of lazily. It doesn't seem like it's super active at the moment. So it does seem like something you could potentially grab onto. You don't know if it will react well to that, of course, but right now it's not whipping around or seeming like it's antagonistic in any way. It's just an optic nerve floating around in the water.
Yeah, she's not generally used to animated body parts, so I think if it's just floating there, not seeming to be moving of its own accord, she would reach out and try to grab it and just tug this up like a balloon. Gross balloon.
A big gross balloon.
Do I see this optical nerve as well?
I think that as you might see kind of a shape in the water. It wouldn't really be easy to make out because the water is kind of cloudy near the surface. But you would see a something kind of wiggly, as if there was a ribbon or some cloth in the water floating around. Yeah, so it looked kind of like that.
Too bad it's in the water. I'm aggroed, but not that aggroed.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so, Caravan, I'd like you to roll me a strength check.
Strength, okay. Not a save. There it is. How do I click it? Oh. I don't know why Roll20 is lagging for me, but it's a lot of suspense on my rolls.
Yeah, every time you click, it's oh, what's it gonna be?
Yeah, it's well, did it go? I'll try it again.
If you are trained in athletics, you could also do athletics.
Well,
There it goes.
am I trained in athletics? That's a good question. I am, so make that a plus, if it's proficiency, +3?
+3? Yeah, so that would be 15? That's better.
Nope, sorry. I don't know how this works. I'm used to Pathfinder. That's a total of 13.
Oh, okay. You just have a +1 proficiency. I'm forgetting what level you guys are. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you have a 13. So you grab a hold. It's kind of slippery. It's kind of like trying to grab seaweed. But you are able to get a pretty good grip. You have pretty strong hands. You start pulling upward, kicking your feet, doing whatever it is you do to usually swim. And the eye resists a little bit. you can't tell if it's because it has kind of its own mass, or if, you just didn't have too good of a grip on it, your hands are slipping a little. But as you're doing that, you start to feel a little bit sick. Roll me another constitution check. Or a con save. You can do that with advantage because of your herbal remedy.
Okay. Come on, roll 20. There we go. 17.
Okay, so you feel kind of like this wave of sickness come over you as you grab the optic nerve and pull, almost as if like it knows you're touching it and it's trying to defend itself. But you're able to fight it off. You're used to poison by now. You're getting pretty used to this, and you keep kicking. You keep swimming. Give me another athletic check.
Okay. Let me turn off advantage here. That would be too easy.
Yep, no advantage for that.
3!
Okay. So this eye is way heavier than you expected. You're trying to pull it to the surface, and you got it a little ways last time, but it just seems maybe it's stuck on something. You don't see anything in the water, or maybe it just has a bit of a mind of its own, despite the fact that it's just a floating eye. But as of right now, it's not quite letting you pull it up. Do you want to try and do something different? Do you want to just keep going at it?
She's going to do a different approach because this is harder than she thought it would be. She's a very strong swimmer, but not strong in general. Dragging stuff through water is not easy. So she is going to, gosh, I guess I have my backpack on. I hope everything in it's waterproof. She's going to unhook her rope from the side of her backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to tie probably multiple knots, because she's nervous about this, around this optic nerve.
Mm-hmm.
And try to swim up toward the surface. I know it's probably further up than 50 feet, which is how much rope she has, but at least it'll be getting a little closer. She won't have to pull it up as far before she can get help from her friends.
Okay. I'd like you to just roll me a dexterity save to see how easy it is for you to tie multiple knots underwater.
23, Corinne.
It is so easy. You are killing it. You're like, I tie knots underwater all day, every day. You're loving it. Yeah, you're able to tie multiple knots around this optic nerve. And once your hands are no longer touching it, you feel that kind of wave of sickness, like, kind of leave. Whatever it's doing, you can only do, seemingly, if you're actively touching it. Although you do know that, the water itself is, seems to be some sort of, it's affected by this at the very least. So you start swimming towards the surface. There's going to be a while before there's any sort of drag, because you have that long length of rope. You're getting closer to the surface. You're getting closer. Shaho, since you are down there, you'd be able to kind of see Caravan now, pulling upward. And you get to a certain point where your rope has run out. You haven't quite reached the top yet, but I'd say you're maybe about 10, 15-ish feet from the surface. So you can kind of see up. Shaho can kind of see you, even though the water's murky. She sees the shape of you, essentially. Would you like to try and get some help, or?
Yes, I have a thought. So she's 10 feet underwater. She's
Mm-hmm.
given this thing a tug. It's reached the end of the rope limit, and it doesn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to mentally call out to Zasa. Be like, hey, this thing's really hard to pull, and I'm going to keep trying, but could you also levitate me at the same time? And maybe with the two of us working on it, it'll come up a little bit more?
Absolutely. That sounds like a great plan.
Sweet.
All right, so roll that levitation.
This spell provides up to 500 pounds of thrust.
500 pounds? Okay. With 500 pounds of thrust,
Zasa thrusts me.
you're able to be thrust from the water. You feel Zasa's spell basically pull you upward, dragging the eye with it, and you shoot out of the water dramatically. Lots of splashing. Shaho, if you'd like to avoid getting hit by this water, please roll me a dex save.
I like to imagine she was like, 1, 2, 3, go! And she started to pull, and Zasa just flings her through the air. Yeet.
Okay, Shaho, you and Komodo are easily able to like kind of step back enough. You kind of like do like the whoa, and
Nope.
yeah, you nope out of there really hard, and don't get hit by any of the water. And as Caravan goes up, the eye floats to the top. It's now kind of like bobbing in the water. You haven't totally taken it out of the water because you haven't flown up high enough, but it's high enough now that you can kind of see the color of the eye kind of like whoop, whoop, right out of the water.
I hate it so much. Karen will reel the rope in as much as she can. Her goal here is to reel it in enough that the optic nerve is kind of coming up and it'll flip that bad boy, so at least it's not staring at us, being all weird and creepy.
Yeah, it makes me feel weird. I don't like it.
Nobody likes this.
Marigold's gonna poke his head down the hole but not descend because fuck that. You could cover it with something.
It's huge.
Giant
I'm
blanket,
going to cover it with something. Sasa floats down.
parasol. Don't use mine.
So is Mormo's eye now at the surface?
It's basically at the surface. It dips under every once in a while, but Caravan's able to keep a hold on the rope, kind of, keep it upwards near that surface of the water. As you float down, you also feel that weight upon you, as if like a very angry mother-in-law is staring at you. That's kind of the feeling you get, and you can't talk back because it'll start a fight.
I'll start a fight.
And you get closer and closer. What are you gonna try and cover it with, if anything?
I'm gonna try and use the scroll of enlarge reduce and then cover it by shoving it into bag holding.
Okay. Can you use the scroll at the same time of levitating? Is levitating a concentration or anything?
It's a concentration.
So you're gonna land first?
Does that mean I just flop back into the water beside this eyeball?
I could maintain 3.
You might be able to. I'm not certain. I just want to make sure you won't plunge into the water unexpectedly.
Wait, hold on. You can maintain concentration on more than one spell?
It might be something
maybe I'm
special. I can't be certain. To my knowledge, you can only maintain concentration on one spell, but it could be something special about Zasa's class. I can't be certain.
Nope.
Very special.
Okay, so just the one?
Nope, just the one, so I don't float down.
Okay.
I can go back in the water. It's fine. I'll swim over and chill.
Yeah, 'cause you can just get over there. Okay, so Zasa, you're going to try and cast Enlarge Reduce from above. Is that correct?
If it's in range. If not, I guess I'm coming down.
Let me check and see. 'Cause the range was not changed at all by this special scroll. So the range for Enlarge Reduce is only 30 feet. So you would have to at least get about halfway down the pit to be able to be within range of the eye, where it is now.
Yeah, okay, well.
You have cleared a path, so if you want to climb, you can levitate yourself down and just come all the way down. You have a couple different options. You could dive into the water if that's your thing. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but you could.
The
I feel like
water's
it's not a
fine.
great idea, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
Okay, so you're going to try and climb down?
I'm just gonna
Yeah,
stay up here.
because
That looks like a really long fall.
And Kai, while Zasa is doing this, are you planning to come down, or are you keeping watch up top? Are you doing anything in particular?
Trying to figure out how I would make it down.
I could throw you.
Oh,
No,
no,
I'm not
no.
going. No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm good.
Absolutely joking.
If you do
Yeah, I haven't
remember,
quite figured out how to make it down. What's
you do have the pittance and rope from climbing the mountain. So could go down that way. It might be a little bit dangerous, but it is a way to get
Yeah.
down.
Were the sides going down covered in foliage?
So there was most of it was covered in foliage, but part of it was like there's a path, basically
Okay,
enough to
so-
carry Komodo down that
Okay.
was burned out of the way by acid.
Okay. Then yeah, I can do that then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll start putting my stuff together to be able to
Work your way
climb
down there?
this the side of the pit.
Okay. And Marigold, you're staying up top. Are you doing anything particular while you're up there? Or are you just like keeping an eagle eye watch?
Probably just playing some sort of stringed instrument, watching. Yeah.
Okay. So you're up there with Nev and Nell. They are, just keeping an eye out. They're watching. They did say they would keep an eye, kind of stand guard while you all went into the pit because, they know this area is very dangerous. As you start playing, though, Nev and Nell, kind of slither over to you, and they put...
It's Narcissa.
Oh, no, where's Nell? Nell is the...
Disrespecting their names.
I'm sorry, Narcissa. Nell was the Ironbread. My bad.
Oh.
Narcissa, goodness gracious. Narcissa and Nev, my apologies. Narcissa and Nev, they work their way over to you, they slither over, and it's, one face on either side as they watch you play. And they just start asking you questions about your music. They haven't seen much of the world. They're just interested in the music. So,
Do they speak Ladin?
they don't. So you don't understand them unless you speak. Let me grab their languages.
Because I speak 1, 2, 3, 4 languages, 5 languages.
I know they have Primordial, Titan
Yes.
Speak, and Infernal.
Yes. So that's the 3 they have. They don't have any others. So they come up to you and start asking questions, but you don't understand them. They seem like interested, like curious, but you don't quite have a frame of reference. They don't seem angry when you don't understand them, though. They're more just like, you kind of see some like head nods, and then they like start talking to each other, and then they just kind of go over and curl up and start just listening to the music.
Aw, cute.
Okay, I have snake friends. This is you.
All right. So, Zasa, you are, okay, so, you got an 8, for climbing down. As you start, climbing down, I would say that, you and, would you have waited for Kai to, like, kind of start setting up, like, pittons and rope?
Yeah.
Okay.
We also have
Zasa's
a
smart
grappling
enough to
hook.
know that Kai is much better at this.
Okay, so, let me see. I think I'll have Kai roll something first. Let me just take a look here, see if there's anything that makes the most sense, just for setting up. Kai, if you would roll me... I'd like you to roll me a... I guess, dexterity to see how
Sure.
well you're kind of getting these into the like where you're putting them, how well you're placing them, how easy it is for you to place them while still being up top without kind of toppling in.
Okay. Hold on just a second. Before...
Yeah.
Yes, so before I start to set up all of that, I do this little, like, little kind of like stomp with both my little legs, and you can see, like, this sort of glow come out from beneath my armor as I activate my Sign of the Deer tattoo. And so I get advantage on dexterity checks and saving throws for the next hour.
Very nice. Good use of the tattoo. All right. So, yeah, you have that advantage. Go ahead and roll with advantage for just, making sure you're not falling into this pit while trying to get it set up.
Yeah.
Very good. You are able to kind of deftly, like lean yourself over the edge as you start, putting down the pittons, affixing the rope. You even help Zasa get kind of put into a harness. You get one set up on yourself. And you are able to basically get everything set up. So now you're both able to climb down. When you're doing that, you can either give me, you're going to have to give me 2 checks. You can do, the first one is going to be a strength or athletics, because you're climbing down. The second one will be dexterity or acrobatics. It's just how well you are managing to get down in this kind of narrow space. So roll me those checks with any advantage you may have. I would say with the dexterity or with the strength check, you can both have advantage because the pitons are taking some of the strain for you. You're not having to climb down with your own bodies. So strength or athletics, you do have advantage.
Okay.
Okay. Kai, you're climbing down just fine. I'd say you probably went first and Zasa was second. Would that be right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So, Zasa, you already rolled 1 athletics. You can roll another one.
Okay.
Okay. So, with a 10, you're struggling a little bit, but you are making it down. You're just going a little bit slower. You know, you don't do as much climbing as some of your friends do. But you are making your way down. I'd now like you all to each roll another dexterity or an acrobatics, just because this is kind of a narrow passage that you're climbing down. Ooh. Okay, 12. Zasa, did you roll dexterity?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I just wasn't sure if it's being slow. Okay.
Oh no!
Oh,
So, Zasa, as you're climbing, you know it's hard for you. This is tough. You know, you don't have that many muscles. As you're climbing down, you start to slip a little bit, and you sway into the poison that's on either sides of you. You do have resistances to poison, though. I would like you to still roll me a con save, but you have advantage. Okay, so with that 15, you feel okay. You feel like if you kept rolling around in this poison, you might not feel okay. But as for right now, it's not killing you. You don't feel sick. You don't feel weakened. But you keep going down. It's a little bit slower going. But you and Kai look like you're going to make it down, no problem, even if it's a little bit slow. And Kai, with your checks, with the dexterity, it's a little bit rough for you. You know, you almost sway into the poison, but you're able to avoid it. But with your strength, you're just climbing down as speedy as all get out. All right, so you both make it down. Do you all just come stand over here with Caravan, or do you kind of take a step back? Is there a specific place you want to be? I can drag you out here onto the map. Oh, and Shaho, where would you like to be?
I'm by Caravan.
Okay, so we'll just put you right here. You're right next to her. You're not actually in the poison, don't worry. Okay, and then here, I'll just drag you both out. You can put yourselves where you think you would be.
okay.
Okay. You should have control. If you don't, let me know.
I do not.
Okay, let me fix that for you.
I want to investigate the blood. I don't know which.
Yeah. And this one is controlled by...
Alright, I got it.
Cool. And Zasa. And then control this one by Shaho. Okay, no problem. I am going to drag Marigold down here. Marigold, you're not actually down here, but that way if you do decide to come down, we have you ready.
No, I am not going down there unless I start screaming. No, I'm going to stay up here and entertain the, what is she?
She is a crown naga.
Yeah, no, I've got my guitar and salute.
Okay, I'm just going to put you up here to say that you're up there playing for the naga. Okay, so, all right, Shaho, you, for investigating the blood, just roll me an investigation. And then Zasa, now that you're down here, you can begin doing that and large reduce. Okay, the 16. I would also, are you trying to stay quiet?
Yes.
Okay. If everyone's trying to stay quiet, roll me a stealth as well.
Can't hurt to try.
Where's my stealth? There it is.
Okay, so we have... Hey, everyone did really well. Okay, so, Zasa, Caravan, Kai, you're all super quiet. Zasa, even as you're completing the spell, I imagine you're doing it really softly. Let's see, does it have verbal? Yeah, it has some verbal components, but you're still, doing it really quietly. Enough so that even in this echoey cavern, you don't hear much. Shaho, how are you investigating this trail of blood? What are you doing exactly?
I'm like down on all fours, like sniffing it.
Okay, so as you're sniffing this blood, I'd like you to roll me a nature. Okay. And, Zasa, the eye is getting smaller as you start doing the enlarge reduce. It's kind of a slow process, though. Alright, so, Shaho, as you're kind of, snuffling the ground, getting like a good sniff, you can tell, that this blood smells like Manticora blood.
Oh boy.
But
It's possibly Manticora.
behind you, Komodo is kind of like snuffling around himself, kind of wandering around, and he bumps into you as you're doing your own investigation, and kind of like jostles you forward a bit. It makes a little bit of sound. It's a bit louder.
I jumped because I wasn't expecting it.
So
I was hyper focused.
Yeah, you were like really focused on this, so it makes like kind of you make a sound a little bit, a jumping, like, oh, and that echoes. And
Sorry, guys.
Caravan, the voices that you heard before stop.
Guys, I think we've been made
Into what?
into people that are noticed.
Well, I will stand up and get, like, ready to... Just ready.
They were yelling at each other, and now they're not yelling anymore, but it's not because they've made up. I feel like it's because they heard us.
Evan, is everything alright down there?
Maybe.
Would you like me to come down or no?
We're in the process of being made, so whatever you feel about that,
Made into what?
we've been spotted with peepers other than this giant one.
Right. Okay, I'll be down in a moment. Oh god, there's so much plants!
Okay, I'm gonna wait and watch you come down because I think it'll be entertaining.
You're probably going to fall, so you're free to laugh if you like.
Oh, I will. I'm laughing already.
Hey.
Okay. So,
Just got this thing
Marigold,
tuned too. Ugh.
you are, the path is still there with the, the ropes and the pittons. So you're able to start climbing down pretty easily. Also roll me a strength check, though, with advantage, because you do have the rope. Yep. Yep, strength. Strength for you.
Hold on. Hang on. I'm trying not to drop a guitar. Alright. I need to move that closer. You said a strength check?
With advantage.
Aw, that's cute. That's...
Okay?
Oh.
Okay,
Thank
so...
you for advantage. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. With an 11, you're struggling a bit. It's basically taking you about as long as it took Zasa, but because you're pretty dexterous, you don't really fall into any of the plants or anything. You're able to basically just climb down. It's just a bit slower than you would have liked.
Down we go.
So the voices stopped. You no longer hear, the arguing or, the hushed arguing that was happening before. And I'd like you all to roll a perception check for me.
Okay. Perception, you said?
Yep.
Oh, I don't see shit.
Zasa's busy.
Zasa's busy.
None of us.
I'm too busy watching Marigold.
I see very much.
It's pathetic. He's mincing down the cliffside. He just parasol in one hand, loot carefully balanced on his back. Just the most tiptoe through the tulips all the way down, like straight up.
All right, so Shaho, you don't see anything in the darkness that's ahead of you. But you do hear something. You hear something or someone moving closer.
I get ready. We may have to protect Zasa. I think I hear something coming closer.
So tiptoes around the tulips with me.
Okay, one more perception check, everyone.
Delightful.
Okay.
Oh, thank God for Shaho.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, basically everybody now this time.
Okay.
Except me. I'm too fabulous to pay attention. What are you
I
talking
got a
about?
4. I'm still laughing at Miracle.
Yeah. Marigold and Caravan are just having their own thing over in the corner, like not paying attention to the possible threat in the darkness. Shaho, you have do you have dark vision?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I figured you did.
We
So
all do.
yeah, I figured most of you did. I don't know if Kai does.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Kai, it's pretty dark down here for you. There is some light coming in from the pits, but it's pretty dark.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like there's much like bioluminescence or anything like that happening down this pit. It's just poison. So Shaho, you especially, you see that movement in the darkness again, and it starts to kind of clarify itself into a shape, a humanoid shape, and you see kind of glowing eyes, and then you see this.
I don't want to see something.
Indiana
Better.
Jones.
Right?
Da-da-da, da-da-da. Where the fuck am I? Oh, there I am.
You
Right.
see someone who looks a little bit strange to you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
He looks a little bit peculiar. But he is walking towards you with a bow drawn. He was
Good.
sticking to the shadows.
2 can play that game.
Yes.
I will draw mine as well.
He was sticking to the shadows, kind of like hiding as much in the foliage as he could without actively like stepping in the poison. But with your fantastic eyes, you were able to see him, and he notices the moment you see him, and he stops. Bow still raised, but he calls out. Are you here for the eye? Did she send you?
Narcissa and what's the other one?
Nev.
Nev.
Nev. Narcissa and Nev
Doot, doot,
sent us.
doot, doot.
I don't know who that is.
Their Caravan's Naga girlfriend.
Vera smiled awkwardly as she was reeling the eye in with the rope in the background.
Right, who are you? Just out of curiosity, excuse me, Caravan, don't mind me just stepping around here. I'm gonna make my way kind of up towards Shaho.
He kind of considers for a moment. He lowers the bow just a little bit, enough so it's not like he's actively pointing an arrow at you anymore, but he could bring it up at any instant. It looks like he's pretty well trained.
Well, I'm pink and harmless. What could go wrong?
He pauses, he kind of looks you over, seems to try and take you in. He does note that, unless I'm mistaken, one of you is still actively wearing a cloak of Mormo.
I am.
Maybe 2 of us. Is Dawson also wearing a cloak of
A little
Mormont?
bit.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so, right?
Forgot
Just
to
some
cover
casual cultists robbing this cave of an eyeball.
Don't mind us.
And he takes a step back. You see him kind of look behind him, and
Uh-oh.
you could assume that there's something or someone back there.
Wait, what languages do you speak? I know it's a strange question, but what languages do you speak?
Ledian? The one we're
Yes.
speaking now?
Yes, obviously.
I mean, I some languages, one moment. A question for Shaho real fast. I forgot to check this. Let me actually just check your sheet, Shaho.
Uh-oh.
Don't mind me. I'm just checking a sheet. Okay. And then he pauses and he says, Leonid? And common. So He looks behind him again, and you see him kind of, like, take a hand off his bow and, like, rub at his head, like, take his hat off. I guess I really don't have much of a choice here. We're stuck. All right. He steps forward again. You can have the eye if you want. At this point, you know, it's a lost cause, I guess. We're stuck. All right. With your insights, you can both tell he seems pretty desperate.
That's weird. Why?
But for why?
He's in the pit.
Actually, friends, do you mind if I have a chat with him, just heart to heart?
Oh, I don't care at all. And meanwhile, Caravan's like holding the rope up with the eyeball dangling from it over Zasa's backpack, and he's working on the knot to drop it in there.
Okay, so
It's fine.
I'll use Whisper of the Heart to speak directly to his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this is sort of a precarious situation, but are your friends perchance the ones that were upstairs?
They're there.
Pip and Tema.
Yes,
Do those names mean anything to you?
they do. They didn't make it, did they?
No, I'm sorry.
I mean, we knew. I mean, they didn't come down for us. We heard screaming.
They were sort of... Looks like they were attacked. Look, we're sort of on good terms with the Crown Naga upstairs. What you're going to do, if you don't mind terribly, is you're going to follow us out. You're not going to say anything. And you're going... Is there anyone else with you?
Yes.
Would you mind bringing them out as well?
That's a little bit difficult.
Are they hurt?
Yeah. You can see that he looks kind of teary.
We can help with that. They're poisoned, aren't they? They've gotten ill.
My brother is, yes. He hasn't woken up.
Okay, we can all help with that. Right, so yes, we're here for the eye. For probably the same reasons that you are, but we need to move quickly and you need to trust us, okay?
I mean, it's either that or death, right? Don't really
not
have
going
much
to
to
kill you.
lose. But we're gonna die anyway. We've been stuck here for weeks at this point. I don't even know how long.
Okay. So Marigold will turn back to the party. The from her, you know, her, the other her, not pretty snake girlfriend her, but
Oh, is that
Pretty lady?
Yasi or Pax?
what are you?
He speaks up and he's like, I'm Pax.
So Yossi's the one who's ill. Take me to him.
Where's
Kai, I might need
Fenia?
your help as well.
Sure.
She's back with Yasi. Her leg's broken.
Okay, we can help with some of
Honestly,
those
I'm
things.
surprised any of you have made it. This is really good news. We're here to rescue you.
Sort of.
We thought you all were dead.
Yeah.
I accidentally made the bed. Hold on.
You accidentally made the bed. That's an accidental, very
Yeah,
productive
here we
move
go.
of you.
No, there we go. Okay. I
Accidentally did chores.
I was trying to move the friend here and I didn't move him. Okay, so let me just put their...
Kevin, I have some questions for you here in a minute. Since we're going to need to sort of orchestrate this carefully, but it can wait before we help these people.
Okay. So what you see, you know, now that Pax has brought you closer to the kind of makeshift camp that they had, is that Yasi, who seems to be Pax's brother, he is the Manticora who's heavily tattooed, which is kind of a strange thing for a Manticora. It looks like he has tattoos on just about every bit of spare skin that he has, anything bare. But then his fur itself has been dyed to kind of match the tattoos that are underneath. You can kind of assume that he's literally covered in them. Pax, who you've been talking to, he doesn't look like he's all Manticora. He has some elven features. Something that it looks a little bit strange. Like he has this very parts of a feline face, but he isn't covered in fur. He has very thick hair, but he is basically skin. But when you look at his hands, his nails are very long. It's kind of strange. Definitely kind of a weird feeling you get when you look at him. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And Shaho, he actually, now that you're all that pointing bows at each other, he slinks it over his back and puts a hand out to Shaho specifically. Glad to see that there's someone else who can probably help get us out of here. I think you all can do this. And then first he shakes Shaho's hand, or at least puts a hand out to shake. But then he does it to each of you else as well. It just seems like he kind of prioritized Shaho a little bit.
Okay, who's poisoned?
Yasi. He fell first. He hit his head. You can see the blood over there. Fell into the water. We're pretty sure he inhaled some. He hasn't woken up since.
Okay.
Did you say that he had unusually long, like, fingernails or something? Was that him?
That is Pax. Like, his are unusually long for what would be an elf.
Okay.
But for a manticore, it just kind of looks like he might have, like, claws. But it's kind of a strange thing. Whereas Yasi is the one who looks like he's covered in tattoos even though he has fur.
Okay. Marigold will kneel down next to Yasi, is the manticore.
Yep.
And sort of hum quietly to himself as he casts Lesser Restoration over him, removing the poison effect, hopefully.
He stirs a little bit, seems to wake up a little. He's still very groggy, but then after a moment he jolts upward.
It's okay, stay down.
And he looks over, his eyes kind of go wide, and then they meet Pax's eyes, and he settles.
Okay.
When he tries to talk, it's kind of garbled, like he's still processing waking up. But then you see Thenia, who is over here. She was tending the fire, which looks like it's now gone out, probably been out for a while. But her leg has been splinted, sort of. It's not a very good splint. And it's propped up beside her. It looks like, although she feels okay, there's definitely that sheen of sweat on her brow. You can't believe how good it is to see another face. I was about ready to strangle Pax. I love him, but oh my god. Just being stuck in a pit with someone who's unconscious and someone else who's worrying his head off. It was...
I'm sure it's been very difficult, but we need to move quickly. This place isn't safe. Are you poisoned?
No. I didn't, I didn't inhale any of it.
Okay,
We've
good.
avoided the plants.
Kai, can you have a look at her leg? I'm
Yes.
not really much of a healer.
Yeah, I'll take a look at her leg, and then just kind of put my hands around and do lay on hands for about 5 points to kind of start mending that leg a little bit.
Okay. One thing you notice is that Thenia, she is a halfling as well. She is wearing pretty heavy armor. It's not quite full plate or anything like that, but it looks pretty sturdy. And then you see, Pax over here, as you're tending to Thenia, he's like, I was at the top of the ladder. Thenia was in the middle, and I fell directly on her. All that armor doesn't protect you from your friend plummeting 60 feet and landing directly on your leg. And, he looks kind of sick at the thought.
Okay, so here's the deal. We've made friends with the Naga. She thinks we're... Kevin, what's the story? Kevin? Never really done that. Kevin, Zasa, can you come here? We need to corroborate. I can't speak today. Corroborate the story really quickly.
So while this discussion was going on, you were able to get the eye in the bag.
Okay.
As you put it in there, suddenly that feeling of being watched, of feeling like there's somebody walking over your grave, is gone.
Oh, that feels better.
All right, I think you all should have control of your tokens.
Karen's gonna be coiling her rope as she heads over to join the rest of the party and see what's going on.
Zasa, come here as well. So, Kevin, you managed to... What did you tell the Naga exactly?
I told her who we are, no, it's who we are, we still exist. And then I also told her why we were here, which was to find out what happened to you guys. So we did that, and that's great. And then we just kind of talked about life and stuff. And I told her how we'd been collecting all these Mormo pieces so we could get them all back together in this vault. And she seemed really impressed by that. And she asked why, and I told her it's because we were being paid to do it. So she paid us to go get this one, which worked out really great because she pays a lot better than our other bosses. She's just way more generous and nice. I like her.
Okay,
But that's pretty much it. What was your question?
We found survivors, so how are we going to frame them coming with us? We were looking for them, or are they just
We were paid to find them.
Yeah, we found them. So that's great. We can just take them back. I don't see why she would care.
Okay. Alright, I just didn't know if she was hostile. I can't understand her.
Oh no, she never even saw them. She heard the fighting and she came out and it was a bunch of Manticore and she just ate them.
Uh,
Okay. Right. Alright.
She doesn't really care about these people, but I bet she would if she met you.
Did she say like about enjoying Manticora as snacks?
No, she's just like really good at her job, and her job is keeping people from coming near this eye.
But she let us hear it because she likes you.
Yeah, because we're trying to get them all in one place, and she liked that.
Okay, let's not get into any more of the story with her. You did great.
So, at the talk of some sort of thing that eats manticoras, Yasi, like, kind of sits up again, this time slower, and he's like, I don't want to be eaten.
You're not going to be eaten.
None of us do.
I don't. You won't let me be eaten, right?
No. Can I
Not
carry
today.
them? I certainly can't.
We'll at least try to prevent it.
Kai is our strong one.
We're not getting eaten. Kai, he's like twice your size. Kai, can you?
I can carry all three of them. It'll be fine.
What?
You what?
I can carry the halfling for sure.
Okay. Well, the halfling's going to need to be carried. Somebody will need to carry Yossi. Pax, you can walk on your own, yes?
Yeah, and I can help carry Yasi. I don't know if we want to, someone get his head, someone get his legs.
Can we make a litter out of that? Does anybody have 2 quarterstaffs and perhaps some rope?
I have rope and a grappling hook.
The grappling hook, maybe not a good idea, but we might be able to just sort of make a sling for him, like a little.
We have
I have a staff.
We have the cloak.
Right. Okay. Trying to think of like 2 sticks and a fucking.
So we have one stick. You have one
I
stick.
have a short bow with a fine wooden stock.
You know what we could do with the cloak? We could like strap him in it and stitch it together, and then like use rope to like bring him up, so we don't need sticks.
How tall is Yossi?
Yasi is a little bit shorter. Well, I'd say a little bit taller than Shahu is. Shorter than you, Marigold. I'd probably say he's...
Everyone's shorter than me.
Everyone's shorter than you. Let me take a look at...
And I'm a runt for Manticora.
Everyone's height, yeah. Let me just take a look here. I want to make
we could
sure.
just make him like a baby sling. You know, like those big infinity scarves you stick babies in?
Yeah.
Like that, but with the cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And that we can just bundle him onto someone's back and carry him up.
I say he's probably like 5'10", I think. His hair gives him an extra like 2 inches though. Just like.
Well, I know how that goes.
Kai, if you want, I can probably what's the name of the halfling?
Her name is Thenia.
I can probably carry Thinia so that you can help, because I can't put too much weight on Komodo, but Komodo can probably handle me and a halfling.
Unless Zasa has another levitate in her today.
I do.
We could just levitate.
Oh, that works.
And nobody has to get carried and we don't have to worry about... Or we can levitate the halfling and carry the poisoned one because I'm more concerned about the leg. I don't care. However we get up, we need to do it soon.
Alright.
You can see that, like, both Thenia and Pax are incredibly relieved that you're all here. Regardless of what your end goal is, at this point, they just don't want to die. is basically the feeling that you're getting. That you don't even need insight to see that they've been stuck in this hole for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness, have some food, have some water while we
Yeah,
figure
no,
this out.
we're not gonna like starve them or anything.
Okay.
We'll hand over some supplies, absolutely.
Okay.
While that's happening, Caravan's gonna gather the people nearest to her in a little huddle. Is there someone who can go up first and maybe, I don't know, did you bury their other party members
We did,
already?
yes, there was
Yeah,
a
we did,
ceremony
yeah.
and everything.
Okay, what about their wagon and stuff? Is that...
It's up there.
Okay, it doesn't look
We
like
still have
a
our
bunch
wagon.
of blood or anything. I know, but I don't think it'd be good for them to go upstairs and see.
Oh,
Oh.
do I have prestidigitation? Zalsa, do you have prestidigitation?
Yes.
Do you want to levitate somebody? Do you want to help me come clean things up a little bit upstairs?
Levitating seems important.
I'll go manage cleaning then, because I'm not really good for anything except frippery. Anyway, zoop.
Okay, so Marigold, you're gonna head back up. I'd say you have enough time to, kind of climb back up at your leisure. You now know that there's nothing down here that's trying to kill you. And you also know, besides poison, and the eyes no longer staring at you, which is a much better feeling. You're able to climb back up, and you can definitely get
Hold
to the
on.
top. Yeah.
I am going to pause at the beginning of the lake and have a good long look in there, because there's been treasure in every single other one of these stupid Serpentholds, and there might be interesting glittery things in the water.
That's certainly a good thing to do. Roll an investigation for me.
Right. This won't go badly.
Do you want me to swim down and look?
Well, if you don't mind, I'm just standing next to the water, kind of peering down into it, because every
it's-
time we've been here, there's been things,
Yeah. I don't mind looking as long as it doesn't involve dead bodies, and I'm already, used to swimming in Titan blood water, so
I
this
was-
is fine.
Hoping you weren't gonna say used to swimming in dead bodies, because that would have been a whole
Swimming
other
in dead
conversation.
bodies?
I mean, we
No,
did
just-
let
That
them
would be
hit the
very-
You know
floor
what?
the
Let's
other
just have you go down and look. How's that? Would you like a light spell?
Swimming in dead bodies seems very challenging from a buoyancy perspective.
Too bad, because I can't cast light. Have fun.
Okay, well, I see better without it anyway. Yeah, I'll just go down and look. Bye! And she dives in. And she's just gonna go down to the bottom and...
Okay, since
You can swim
you're down there and you have great night vision, you're used to seeing in the water. Roll investigation with advantage.
I should have inspired you. Shit.
Someone's still inspired. Who's inspired
I
right
am.
It is
Okay.
Shadow.
now? Okay,
No!
22.
Nice.
So-
Natural 20.
Yeah, it's
Yours
twice
This
over
is like
again.
my third one tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're rolling really well.
Yas.
So you, as you're swimming around down there, you do see that it does look like other adventurers have met their fate in this pool. Oddly enough, you don't really see any corpses. You can't be certain as to whether that's because they've gone somewhere else or whether they've disintegrated, which doesn't give you a lot of good feelings about this water either way.
Caravan chooses to believe that it's like a wishing well and people throw their equipment down here.
That's a good thing to believe. So as you're looking around this wishing well, you find a handful of things, more than a handful. You find a lot of loose coins. It looks like there's something that can survive for a long period of time in this water. You're able to find about 100 gold altogether, just kind of scattered around.
You need a bag.
I'm good. As she does that thing, she has claws. So she does that thing where you're trying to pick something up off of a flat surface with the little. So
Like
these
that-
coins are a little difficult. Just moving around.
You also find what looks to be a really fine pike. It looks like it is totally made of metal, which is why it survived in this water. But it still looks sharp, even though it's been hanging out in the water for who knows how long. You find some chainmail that doesn't have anybody in it, just some chainmail. It also doesn't look rusted.
Her favorite
it's
type
fine.
of chainmail.
Just chainmail. And you find a fair amount of other trinkets and things in here. You find some jewelry. It looks like there is a really fancy brooch. You find a I'd say the brooch is probably worth 50 gold. Like, it's really nice. You find some miscellaneous gems. There's even some just, like, straight up diamonds down here. Rubies, sapphires. You find about 2 diamonds, 2 sapphires, 2 rubies, and then, what you would call, like, a pouch full of pearls. All just kind of in the water here.
Like some nice spell components.
Some nice spell components from definitely a wizard that didn't die.
Oh, no. Well, the diamonds would probably use for Revivify.
Not anymore. They didn't get him off in time.
That's what, no.
You
even go there.
also find a what looks like a really nice staff. Even though it's made of wood, it seems like it survived in the water just fine. It doesn't seem particularly waterlogged.
That seems suspicious and weird.
Alright, toss it all up here. We'll get Zasa to identify it later.
Yeah. She adds that to the stash of loot that we've collected so far today.
So while you all are looking for, various goodies in the water, Pax, Yasi, and Thenia are eating some rations, kind of getting up their strength for the trip upward. Yasi, actually, even though he's feeling a little bit woozy still, kind of looks over at you, Shaho, and is like, "Where are you from?"
The plains, I believe.
The plains, okay.
I don't remember my own backstory.
That's okay.
I don't remember my location, but
that's fair. That's fair. That happens. You say where you're from, and and he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he pauses for a minute, and he looks over at Zasa, and then he nudges Pax, and they both kind of lean toward each other, and they have a moment of, "We recognize you all. We've seen you before." Where was it? And Pax is like, has kind of like that look on his face where he's like, I know this. And he looks down, and then he looks at what looks to be like a little a water skin, but in it seems like there's ale or something else. It looks like they were basically down to party supplies and not actual supplies by the time you all got here. And when he looks at the little skin of ale that he has, he's like, "At the bar. You all were at the bar."
Which bar?
Nell's. You were at Nell's.
Yeah, that's where.
Ages ago.
We saw you there. It was a while ago at this point. Yeah.
Did a fight happen at this?
Yeah, there was the fight. I mean, we were already outside by the time the fight happened, but we remembered hearing about it. No, we were leaving, and we saw some of you getting there. That's crazy.
Wild.
What were you doing there?
Well, we were meeting a contact, and then
Did you contact a tree?
she had a tree. Yeah, we I mean, maybe you saw her. Her name's Sina.
Bingo.
She's the reason we're here, and maybe the reason you're here. We saw you at the bar after all, but yeah, she gave us a job. Then we left, gathered our party, picked up Thenia, and Thenia's over like, "Yep, kind of wish I didn't go on this now, but here I am." And then he sobers a little bit, and he's like, we brought Temma and Pip. We've known them since we were kids.
Why did you leave your Manticora pride?
Well, it's a little bit awkward. It was a little bit awkward when I was born. Our mom, Yassi's and my mom, she'd, it wasn't really a on the up and up relationship with my dad, and his dad got pretty mad, so we skedaddled, I mean, it was pretty obvious that I wasn't just their kid, you know. I mean, look at me. I don't even have any fur. You know, at first my mom was like, well, you know, it just doesn't have fur. That happens sometimes, right? And everyone's like, no, it doesn't. So that was, you know, kind of awkward. But, you know, we went to go live with my dad. And, you know, he loved Yasi. And, you know, after that, we didn't really go back.
Did you leave when you were really young, or?
Yeah, pretty young. You know,
So you haven't grown up with Manticora?
not really, no. I mean, that's why it was kind of cool to see you, you know, and you weren't attacking us. The last Manticore we had up there, they, you know, killed our friends. And we didn't even really see it, we just heard it. But, you know, we could tell. It's just, you know, not great. But yeah, no, we, Yasi grew up, you know, with the pride more than I did. I had a couple good years, probably till I was about 5. Then things just got really awkward when it was clear I wasn't getting any fur, and that wasn't changing. And, you know, my face really wasn't the same as everybody else's. And, you know...
I think you look cool.
Thanks. I mean, I like the way I look. Yasi's a fan, you know, he's always been jealous. He thinks that all the ladies like it. I don't know.
Focus on getting your strength back, and we can talk more once we get you guys out of this place.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So, they keep eating. Yeah, one thing that, is definitely probably weird for you, Shadow, is you've probably never seen a, Manticora, like, covered in tattoos, like Yasi is. Knowing what you know about your own culture, even though, you know, you were kind of singled out, it seems like whatever Yasi does, it's probably something that he learned to do because they left the Manticora, because it doesn't seem very practical for somebody who's covered in fur to be specializing in tattoos.
And died.
Yes, and dying, like it's fur. Like, that's not... there's probably a reason why Cena said that they were a pair that you couldn't miss. They definitely stand out in a crowd. All right, so they're all you know, resting up, getting a little bit of their strength back. You all are able to get all the treasure from the bottom. How are you going to plan to head back up? Actually, we'll take a quick break and then we'll talk about how you get back up.
Okay, then.
All right, everyone take a 5-minute break. We'll be right back. Just gonna, you know, get up, get drinks, stretch our legs, and then we'll be back to continue, and we'll get these people out of this pit. Hopefully, fingers crossed. See you all very soon.
It's dry.
All right. We're back, everyone. Welcome back. We all had a break, and now we are here. Let us know if you can't hear anybody, if cameras go weird or anything like that. But we are back, and the party was going to be trying to get out of this big old pit. So what are we doing? Are we just levitating up? Are we doing something different?
Are we what now?
Yeah, levitating.
Is levitating still the plan?
Levitating at least the injured people.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're, we'll just move everybody over here.
Levitating up to 500 pounds of injured people.
I would say
swim up.
Oh yeah, Caravan's been like fishing.
Oh yes, Carolyn, you can come out. You can swim out of the water. You're good.
Can I swim out of the cave?
No. There's
I'm
not
good
actually
at it.
like a weird little hole down there. That doesn't actually.
There's no
exist.
waterfall or something I can swim up, like a salmon?
No waterfall. You seem to think that somehow the eye itself was generating this weird pool of water, or water was collecting and then becoming poisoned. It's not exactly clear. Maybe it rained and the water collected. Maybe.
So the eye, in theory, could be held over the side of the cave, and it would create. Caravan's chasing waterfalls right now because swimming is a lot easier.
Caravan, don't go chasing waterfalls.
But I like
to
them.
the rivers and the poison you're used to.
Okay, so make sure you still. I guess Caravan will try to climb.
Okay. So you're just gonna try and climb up. So the rope is still there. You still have it, stuck into the kind of craggy surface. So you would just need to do first an athletics check with advantage because of the rope. Athletics or strength, whatever better for you.
14. Thank you for that advantage.
You're welcome. With 14, you are able to get up. You're about mid-range speed. Not super fast, but not super slow either. Also, roll me a dex save. I want to see if you fall into any poison while trying to climb up there.
Rude.
Okay, so with an 11, you slip a little bit, but you catch yourself right before you, knock into the wall. You think if you had been any lower, you might have hit. So, where did
Like
the
if I
wise...
were an average quality deck saver,
Yeah.
I might have hit it.
Yeah. All right, so you are able to make it up to the top. As you get up there, you see Narcissa and Nev. They, are still keeping watch. They had settled down when Marigold was playing, but they went back to, being pretty, active, keeping an eye out while you all were coming down. When they see you, they smile widely.
It's probably unnerving. I imagine lots of pointy teeth.
Yeah, it's very pointy. It's two very pointy smiles that look like they might be a little bit poisonous, but
Neat.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, Caravan takes a nice deep breath of
Yikes.
fresh, non-poison air, and then she's gonna make her way over to Narcissa and Nev. Okay, so after incident report, we got the eye. So we're going to take it back to go with all the other pieces. We also, because remember how I said we were coming here to find those people? And she points to where the corpses were. And then it's like,
yes,
The
the
people who were
ones who
there?
fell.
yes. Well, some of them are still alive down there. So we actually were able to rescue a few of them. And we're going to bring them out. They're very worried that you're going to eat them. I said that you would not eat them. So
Bless you.
overall, I'd say it's pretty good, successful mission.
They both nod along, and then Narcissa speaks. She's like, "You did so well that not that many people would be able to just go down there and get the eye. That's very impressive."
I'm like a really strong swimmer, and also I don't remember who got us these drugs. Maybe it was Shaho, but they make you like really good against poison. So like I'm breathing in the poison water, and it did not even bother me.
We'll have to go to the beach.
Yes, I really think you would like it. I think it would be really good on your scales.
Oh, that sounds lovely. And then
Mm-hmm.
Nev speaks up, and she's like, "Well, They lived. They're alive. That's very resilient.
It is. I didn't see anybody else down there. I think anybody else who fell kind of got eaten by the poison water. Do you know anything about?
Yes, it can be very corrosive long term. That's why we don't go down there.
I don't understand.
That makes
what you're
sense.
saying.
I feel like any kind of flesh should be bad.
Yes. And we worry for our scales. We like to keep them very pretty.
Well, I think if you just did a dip, it'd probably be okay, because it might, like, clean them.
It's kind of hard for us to get down there.
That makes sense. It was
We
very
don't
hard
have
for me to get down
arms.
there. Oh. Well, Zasa's really good with magic. Would you say that you weigh... I'm sorry, again, I know this is personal. Would you say that you weigh more than 500 pounds of thrust?
That is a very personal question.
Oh my god. I'm the one who's supposed to be asking naughty things. I'm the bard.
Well, okay, you don't have to give me the answer, but from what she was saying, that's as much as her levitate can do. So it's almost like flying, but really slowly, or like a weird float.
You see them kind of consider for a moment. Let me check and see what the standard weight of something of their size would be. I have never considered this before.
And then convert it to thrust.
And then convert it to thrust. So weird. It's a weird. Okay, so they might be under 500 pounds. I'd say they probably are. Snakes are pretty sinewy. They seem to consider it for a moment. They're like, well, maybe some other time. We should probably get your friends up here.
I think they have a plan for that, and Caravan will go look over into the hole. How is everybody down there doing?
So, you're planning, it seems you're planning to levitate at least Yasi and Thenia up. Is anyone else going up in the levitation?
No, I'm good.
I'm climbing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll climb.
Lizardin.
Okay. So I think, Zasa, are you going to levitate yourself up? Like with them?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So Pax, because he's pretty tired, I think he would go up with you. I think you'd be able to lift that many people. I think so. I don't foresee that being a problem. Yeah. DM's ruling you can lift 4 people, including yourself.
Would you say it's 400 pounds of thrust?
500.
500. I feel like lifting 4 people, including yourself, would be enough. But I think that'd work. I'm ruling it's enough. Okay, so you are able to just, start levitating. You bring the 3 from the original party up with you. Everybody else who's ever climbing, you get to do the... so I think that would just be Kai and Marigold. You would have the athletics check with advantage.
Athletics, really?
Yep, or strength, if you're better at one than the other, for some reason.
No? Acrobatics? Can I flip wizard up this hill?
Hey.
You can't. It's very steep.
Delightful.
Very steep.
Yes!
Flip wizard up the hill anyway!
You feel an inner strength within you, and you just get up there. You both make it up fantastically. But roll me Dex. Kai, you would still have advantage on this, I believe.
Okay.
Do you want acrobatics from me then?
Yeah, you could do acrobatics on this,
course.
Marigold.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so Marigold, you're fine. You think that you, in your haste to get up there, just going really fast, you almost get into a bit of trouble. But Kai, you're struggling a little bit. You were doing great climbing up, but maybe you got distracted. Maybe it's the fact there's a bunch of people floating behind you. Maybe you're just a little bit tired. You kind of tip over a bit, pulling some of the rope with you, getting into the poison that's on either side. Roll me a Constitution save, but you do have advantage because you're all still prepped for poison.
Okay.
Okay. With a 15, you feel that kind of wave of sickness, but you are able to fight it off. You think if you'd had that 8, you would have been in some deep trouble.
Yeah.
You are able to keep going up, but you're more cautious as you can consider you go up the rest of the way. Shaho, you are able to get Komodo to bring you up easily. With that 19 acrobatics, you do a fantastic job of avoiding all the poison, not, weaving into it accidentally as you, as Komodo scurries you up the wall. I think that gets us with everyone, because Zasa's floating up everybody. Okay, so let me just grab these 3. And we'll pop you back to the top here.
I've been really bad at song cues recently. Need to get on that.
There we go. And then...
We're back! Oh, God. Okay, I'm gonna quickly zoop over to the wagon and start kind of maybe cleaning things up a bit.
Yeah, you guys did bury the body, so let me get rid of those real fast.
We did, yeah.
And you all can move yourselves wherever you would like to be.
I'll start loading our wagon.
Marigold's over here with Zasa.
There we go.
I hope
I'm
the
just
loading-
gonna
The blood is still on
the blood away.
Okay, you're gonna prestidigitate the blood. Okay. Yeah. They come up, and as they kind of crest, you're like prestidigitating, trying to kind of clean it up a little bit.
Minor illusion of blanket in front of us.
Okay. I'd say because you were all talking about doing this before, trying to make it nice. I feel like you probably had enough ability to be able to kind of get to it before they really notice. They're all a little bit worn, a little bit tired. They don't really notice. I'll say they're right here.
All right, so Zasa quick. Just to save these poor people.
But I would like you all to do, I guess a stealth check to see if they notice you doing that. They're not going to see the result, but whether they know you did something.
Okay.
Okay, Zasa, you are incredibly stealthy. Marigold, you're pretty stealthy. You're doing okay. So you're both able to, kind of just make it so they don't notice you doing these things right as they crest. They get up and, but you think maybe the reason they didn't notice so much is because they're blinking a lot. Like they've been stuck in the dark for a really long time.
Yeah, no,
And now they have all this bright sunlight coming into their eyes. They're blinking. Thenia is leaning against a rock, with her leg kind of out to the side. It's better. It's not as bad as it was, but it's still definitely, it's probably still a fracture at least. And they all get up here, and they're kind of adjusting. And Narcissa and Nev kind of make their way over.
Oh boy.
Oh no, it's doing that thing again. Sometimes my map disappears. There we go. Nope. Guess we'll be farther away. Okay. So Narcissa and Nev kind of slither their way over to this party, and they inspect them. They get really close, kind of take a few deep breaths, and they knew to expect Narcissa and Nev up here. You did warn them that they were here. You did tell them that, Caravan was making some sort of deal. They look nervous, though. They look a little bit nervous. And Narcissa and Nev start talking, but neither of these 3 understand. They are currently speaking in Primordial, which is Caravan. You know Primordial, correct?
Yeah, I'll translate.
And Caravan, you hear them saying, "Oh, well, they're certainly still alive. They're quite hardy. It's very impressive."
They're impressed that you survived down there that long. They think you're very hardy and resilient.
Pac speaks up and he's like, "Oh, well, it's either survive or die, and we really didn't want to die just yet, so guess here we are.
They said their options were survive or die, and they didn't want to die, so they had to survive.
Narcissa and Nev both nod. Yes, that is the way of things, yes. And, you know, as, they kind of come back over to you, Caravan. They were just inspecting, you know, they don't have any, ill wishes. But then they, kind of look around, they're like, where's the eye?
Oh, Zasa has it. Zasa, they want to see the eye.
Yes, can we see? So Zasa, you pull it out of the bag of holding, and you feel that wave of being watched go over you again. It is smaller now, so it's not quite as overpowering as it once was when it was, you know, larger than you were. They both kind of get close to the eye, and, you know, kind of one snake head on either side, and then they get close, and you hear, hello, Mother, in Titan speak.
Oh god.
Won't focus that close.
We're so glad you were found. We couldn't go down there. And they're just like talking to the eye. The eye is an eye. It doesn't really do anything, but you feel like maybe it understands. Maybe.
Motherfucker.
Eventually they kind of like nod, you know, and slither back again, allowing you, Zasa, to put it back in the bag of holding. You all did so well. And
Well,
that's,
thank you.
I
feel like we're becoming kind of experts.
I can't understand them. Can you? Are you
Oh,
translating?
sorry. She said they. Do you prefer she or they?
They both kind of look at each other, you know, kind of thinking. Yeah, I think maybe Primordial might not have too much of a difference in it between the two, but they make a gesture to themselves and they're like, with their tail, it's, you know, going over both of them, and they say they, and then the tail goes over one head, and you know, the equivalent of she, and then the other head, the equivalent of she.
Multiple
Cute.
pronouns.
That makes
I
sense.
approve of it. Wish it could be like that. That'd be cool.
I think this is a they response. They. I already forgot what they said because I got scared about using the wrong pronoun. I'm sorry. Can you repeat yourself?
They had said that, you know, they were very impressed and that you all did very well.
Oh, yes. They just think we're very impressive and we did a great job.
I'll bow.
They bow in return, but since they're snakes, just full-on snake bodies, you're just kind of like them dipping their heads down and then coming back up again.
Very cute.
One thing that, you know, while this is happening, Pax helps first Thenia over to their cart that's over here, and then he comes back for Yasi and, you know, kind of helps him over. Yasi's a little bit kind of swaying on his feet, but he is up. He is, you know, no longer on the brink of death, which you think he might have been when you reached him before. And, you know, they kind of, you know, look over at their cart, which, you know, is still kind of in disarray, but, you know, the bodies are gone, the blood is gone. And Yasi speaks up and he's like, we heard the fight. We know, you know, they probably didn't make it, did they?
No, I'm sorry.
Not so much, no.
We buried them over there.
And, you know, they all kind of look over to where the graves are. And they kind of all hobble over there together to wherever you guys put the graves. And they have, you know, a moment of silence over there with them. You know, I think they each kind of say a few words. Say how sorry they are, you know? Thenia's like, I didn't know you too well, but you didn't deserve to go like that. We wish we could have done more. And then Yasi and Pax, they look a little bit more broken up, and they're leaning on each other. And Yasi speaks up. You were some of the best friends we ever had, and we're not gonna forget you. As much as this all kind of seems like it was for nothing, you fought so that we could live, I guess. If you'd been with us, maybe we all would have been okay, or maybe not, I don't know. And then Pax, kind of puts a hand on his brother's shoulder. And he's like, they'll be missed, but we'll, take their things home and let their parents know. It's what happens, you go on an adventure and sometimes people die. And you always kind of wish that maybe it was you instead, And they all have their moment. You see tears in their eyes, but then they all kind of regain their composure. You see Thenia kind of place something on each of their graves. It looks like it may just be like a page from a journal. And does anybody inspect the journal pages, or do they leave them be?
I'll leave it there.
No,
Okay.
so Marigold, quietly offers a song or something for them if they want.
Yasi doesn't really speak, but he nods, agreeing that, a song seems fitting.
The others.
Oh, go ahead.
No. Just Marigold will just stand by and wait until kind of bring the company over as well, like everybody.
Yeah. And when Thenia places those journal pages down on the two graves, she puts like rocks over them to keep them in place. You see her handwriting's really neat, but you'd have to get closer to read it. You can't say for certain what it is, but it seems like it means something. Maybe she wrote it when they were in the pit before they lost their light, or, there's no way to tell. Yeah, but then they step back and they let Marigold do his music.
Want me to sing something actually?
You don't have to.
No, it's okay.
If you like, basically. Even Narcissa and Nev come over to kind of observe the ceremony. They are very polite and respectful. But they are kind of looming over you, Marigold, accidentally.
Marigold does look a little bit nervous, but he kind of takes a deep breath. The light on his throat lights up with his tattoo. It's actually it changes because it's actually wings sometimes, but sometimes it's a tree, sometimes it's other just abstract designs. But he sort of centers himself and takes a deep breath and. Oh, the comrades that e'er I had, they're sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all. Step away.
Of the party over here, there's not a dry eye in the house. They're all very moved. And Pax speaks up and he's like, thank you. You don't often get a proper funeral, in times like these.
Least we could do. We're just sorry we weren't here sooner.
And he just kind of nods, basically saying, I wish they were here sooner as well, But then they all kind of move away. And it's hard for them to, keep looking. And they start kind of, fixing things in their cart as much as they can, trying to not stand on top of Marigold, put, everything kind of back to rights. Yasi, and after all of it's kind of righted again, Yasi and Thenia kind of get in the back of the cart, and because they're both, still healing. Pax is pretty okay, and he's like, we hate to ask, but one more favor. Those are our horses over there, and we're not going to get far without them.
Well, you guys should come. You guys should come with us to meet Cena, though.
You'd let us travel with you? We wouldn't be a burden. We don't want to, overimpose.
I think it's proper that you meet with her.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about the background noise.
That's all right. I mean, yeah, we can stick together. Safety in numbers, right?
I'll try and help corral the horses.
And Pax goes with you. He knows the horses. He seems to be a ranger himself of some sort. Used to animals. Roll me a animal handling check with advantage, since you two are working together.
Oh, not another fancy. Come on.
Okay.
Nice.
With that 20, you and Pax are able to corral both the horses and bring them back over. The horses are thrilled to see that, at least some of their masters are still alive after thinking they were very, very dead. Let me just move these horses. We can just put them over here so they're no longer wandering around. There we go. And you're successfully able to do that. And Pax,
is it Pax with all the tattoos, or is that Yasi?
Yasi's all the tattoos.
Okay.
Pax is what looks to be the Manticore half-elf.
Gotcha.
Yasi's the one who was poisoned. Pax seemed okay. He landed on Thenia when they fell down the pit. So, yeah, he he just totally landed on his friend. She broke his fall.
And her leg.
Yeah.
He seems really grateful. And happy to have your help in getting the horses back. And he's like, I don't know what we would have done without you all. But probably died in a dark pit. So thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Well, I hate to just hang around here, this weird pit. Should we get going? Get back to civilization and not weird eye pits.
Definitely, but Caravan probably needs to say goodbye or set a time and place for her date.
Yeah, I'll go say goodbye to her, and then, I think it'd probably be a good idea to go, because we have everything that we need from here, and it seems really dangerous.
Yeah, there's spiders.
There's lots of spiders. And I don't know how long they'll stay greasy.
Yeah, I don't know how long the grease on the spider lasts. So, Caravan, you are able to take Narcissa and Nev aside, and they kind of bring you back towards their cave, not all the way back, but, enough that you're a little bit away from the party. And they both, get close again, lowering their heads down to your eye level. So, it's time for you to go?
Yeah, I think it's that time. We did everything that we came here for, and then we also got the eye. So I think we should probably go. Those people we rescued are pretty banged up, and we gotta get them back to their people.
Yes. You promise you'll write.
Yes, now remember, I'm gonna send you either a bird through the USPS or one of the topiaries we're working. So if you see a bird flying at you, don't eat it. If you see a plant flying at you, if it looks like it's intentionally flying, it's probably fine. If it looks like someone threw it, that might be an issue. I trust you to use your judgment.
Yes, we'll be looking out.
Okay. I will send you a message as soon as I'll have like some free time where we could hang out for a bit.
We are looking very much forward to it. And they both, bring their heads and give you a kiss again, one on each cheek.
She's gonna reach up and give him a big old hug.
Their tail kind of wraps around you, and like a facsimile of a hug.
I ship it!
And then Karen will give them one last goodbye, and she's gonna wander back over to her friends.
They happily slither back to their cave. They kind of look like the cat who got the cream, Like they have like a very like satisfied like, yeah, we have a girlfriend kind of look on their faces. So you're all able to kind of gather your carts together since you caught both the horses. There's now 2 carts that you have access to. The cart that you got from the Flesh Corruptors and the one that Yasi and Pax's party had. Pax is going to drive their cart, and Thenia and Yasi are going to be in the back. Does anybody want to travel with them? Just like directly with them. You'll all be together.
I have to drive the cart.
Yeah, I think one of us should go over there just to split things up. If no one else,
I'll ride
you'll
with
go?
them.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll stay with them as well, if it's alright with a lot of you. They could probably use some cheering, and I've got happier songs for the way back, perhaps, and stories. And Kai, I'm sure you've got all sorts of stories that you can tell about your escapades, so...
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All
My
right.
throat will get tired, and I'll pass it to you, and you'll pass it to me. We'll keep them entertained, keep morale up.
Sounds good.
One thing before you all, kind of pack into the carts you're going to go in. Let me accidentally close my campaign notes. Kind of need those. You all received some stuff that was Tema and Pip's. I think Caravan got it while she was with Narcissa and Nev. Is that correct?
I think I didn't mark them as belonging to them. There was the bracers of defense, a
Yes.
short bow with the fine wooden stock, and then I know the spell book was completely separate.
Yes.
Were those
Okay.
two theirs?
Yeah, so the bracers of defense and the short bow with the fine wooden stock, they didn't seem to belong to the Manticoras that they were found on. And as, things are being packed up, Yasi steps over and he's like, those were Tema and Pip's. I'm glad you found them.
Oh, do you want them back? We also have this one. I don't know if I took or not. Actually, on Tema's corpse, there were the daggers and the brooch.
I do have one of the daggers. We buried the other 2, though.
Yeah. So it was 2 daggers. So, one dagger Marigold capped, one was buried, and then there was the symbol of Tannel, which
I do
Marigold
have.
has.
Yes.
Yasi actually puts up his hands and he's like, no, it's okay. You all can keep it. I think they would want you to have it. You'll get better use out of it than we would. And
Thank you.
the symbol, Tema would have wanted somebody, like you to have it, Marigold.
We follow the same deity, so thank you.
I can see that in you.
Mhm.
She would have approved. And he actually he pauses, and he's still a little bit unsteady on his feet, but he takes the bracers and specifically hands them over to Caravan. And he's like, I think these would be good for you. And then the short bow, he looks at it for a minute, and he's like, I'm not certain, but maybe Shaho. Do you use a bow? A short one?
I don't have a short one. I just have my long bow.
Well, it's good to have things for any occasion. And he hands over the short bow to you.
Are you sure?
Yes, positive. I think they would have wanted you to have it.
Thank you.
And the spellbook, Zasa. That spellbook, it has the symbol of Vangle on it. And it does contain a whole litany of spells that are all written in Titan speech. So that'll be something that you'll be able to do some research into to maybe get some access to some new spells. Kai, the pike that was found, that pike is a +1 pike, if that's something you're interested in using. And the chainmail, what sort of armor do you wear now, if any?
I am in. Let's see.
My bad.
I don't remember. You know what? Oh yeah, I am in chainmail.
Okay, you're in chain. This is a +1 chainmail. You think that maybe the reason why these weren't corroding is because they had a certain magic in them.
Yeah.
And then Shaho, your short bow is a +1 as well.
Dope.
The staff.
The staff. The staff is, it seems to be something you might need to do a little bit more research into, but it certainly has some magical properties to it. So that's something that over the next couple days as you guys are traveling, you can get a little bit more information about. Maybe just do a little research, do some detect magics, things like that. But yeah, that one, it's something special, but you don't know what yet. And then there is, among the various like kind of jewelry and things like that were found, one of the little necklaces that were down there is giving off a bit of an aura. Does anyone want to do detect magic on that?
I don't think I can.
No, I don't know that either.
Zisa?
I do have him prepared for today. Yes.
Yay.
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay, so this item is a... One second here. Trying to
Zasa
find...
also knows Identify. She just doesn't have it prepared for today.
Okay. Trying to remember which one I made this. It's always like finding in my notes, like, what was this thing? What did I do? What did I give you all? Okay, so, this item, is it's a brooch of some sort, and it, seems to be giving off a, need to see what this is real fast, it seems to be giving off a aura of transmutation.
Oh.
It whoever I would say as one of you is holding this. Oh, Zasa, you said you had you could do Identify like as you're traveling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see how much Identify gives. Okay, so you learn if it's a magic item or some other magic object, you learn its properties and how to use them. Okay, so I'd say while you all are traveling, Zasa, you discover that this amulet is an amulet of the Longstrider. This item gives you the ability to once a day increase your speed by 10 feet. It is usable only once per day, or, well, once per long rest. And it basically gives you the effects of the spell Longstrider without needing to be able to cast it.
Oh, that'd be good for Kai. Because she's small.
Mm-hmm.
Extra 10 feet of movement would be good for our smallest friend.
10?
Yep.
Yep, extra 10 feet.
So, interesting. Because my tattoo already gives me an extra 5 when I need it.
Oh.
So it'd be a
Do they
similar effect.
stack?
Yeah.
Let me see exactly what type of magic your tattoo is. Let me look real fast.
While she's looking that up, Caravan's gonna divvy out all the coins that we got, and everybody should add 120 gold pieces to their character sheet.
Yeehaw.
Oh.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you guys did pretty well here.
And nobody except the people who were already dead died.
Yep. Okay, so sign of the deer. So it's just
Good
a
thing we didn't
magic
kill
tattoo.
those spiders.
Yeah, that would have pissed off Narcissa and Nev if you killed their pets.
Oh. Yeah.
Boaters.
Good to know.
Okay, give me 1 minute. I'm just checking to see if this gives a specific type of magic, because if it doesn't give a specific type of magic, I think it would stack. Because it's a magic tattoo, so unless they're both transmutation, if they're both transmutation, then they probably wouldn't stack.
Might be.
Yeah, I feel like if they don't stack, then we should give it to Caravan so that we can have a monk flying around at like
Yeah, that would
100
actually be
feet,
pretty cool.
like 100 feet per round, just going like, oh, there's a problem over there, but there's not.
Flying around at the
That would
speed of
put me
sound.
that put me at 55.
Nice.
Yeah.
Already pretty speedy. Or wait, no, it's 10 feet, not 15. 15 was what Kai would be with a tattoo. So
Yeah.
50. It put me at 50.
Yeah, so this doesn't have a specific school of magic that it is. It's just Sign of the Deer's magic tattoo. So I think they could stack, but it is up to you all. It is an item that requires attunement. If you already have a lot of magic items, it might be a problem. But in general, either Kai or Caravan could use it. You could even swap if you wanted to give each other on alternating days or something.
Yeah. I'm good with Caravan taking it. Since I at
Are
least
you
have
sure?
regular movement. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will not argue with
Let's do
super
the flying
speedy,
monk. Alright.
super
So-
speedy land mermaid.
Those are all the cool things that you got there,
Awesome.
along with all that gold. If you all hadn't defeated or made friends with Narcissa and Nev, you wouldn't have gotten that 500 gold. So that's a cool thing. But yeah,
What if you made more than friends with Narcissa and Nev?
well, I don't know about that.
When you get a third of her stuff, it would be a half, but
So, you're all traveling. Are we doing something similar to when you were traveling in? Setting watches. Somebody who sits out with Shaho as she drives.
Yes.
Okay.
Sasa probably crashes first because she has no more spells.
She's real sleepy. Who would be on first watch?
I don't mind doing it. I can be first.
Okay.
I only need 4 hours of rest, so
I'm
Okay.
not as sleepy as everybody else. I had an easy time.
I'll take last so everyone else actually can get, solid 8 hours.
Okay.
Oh, I could do one too if we need another one.
Okay. So, basically, right now, Pax and Shaho are going to be probably staying up most of the time driving these carts. But if each of you are, staying up to do a watch with them while they drive, that will make it safer. So whoever is first watch with Shaho, roll me a perception check, please. And Shaho, you can roll his perception check as well.
Top advantage.
Oh, right. Perception checks. Oop.
Right,
17.
try this again.
Okay. Okay, so I would say both Marigold and Shaho, you see something kind of strange in the distance. It's almost fluttering in the air. It's getting closer, but you can't quite make out what it is. It's very weird. Do you tell everybody else? Do you just keep looking at it, try and get closer?
I'm gonna keep looking at it.
Okay. Roll another perception if you're just gonna keep studying it, trying to figure out what that is over there.
I'm even more unsure.
You're very confused by this. It's unlike anything you have ever seen before. But it is getting closer, and you are getting more of an idea. It looks almost floral, but it's kind of fluttering.
My tail's twitching.
And then, who, if anybody, is sitting out with Pax as he drives?
Sure.
Okay, you can roll another perception as well if you keep looking.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Nope. Busy playing loot.
So this thing seems to be coming directly for you all. As it gets closer, it starts to get a little bit clearer. You see a what looks to be a terracotta pot filled with some sort of strange plant that is also using its own leaves to do this and levitate. It's sort of like a fluttering motion. It's flying right towards you.
There's a flying plant coming towards us. Oh, there's the flying plant!
It's getting closer. It eventually pulls up, and it specifically seems to be looking for Zasa. Like it flies close to each one of you, kind of hovers, and then goes back. Tests someone else. Nope. Tests someone else, and then eventually just settles down beside Zasa, who's sleeping.
Aww.
What kind of plant is it? I'm picturing a little
potted plant
cactus.
cuddling me.
What type of plant?
Yeah, we can go with a cactus. It's a cactus, and the thing that was fluttering was like little like the cactus blossoms, like on either side, that were kind of like making little wings. And it's in a little pot.
Someone should explain that to Pax and them, because they probably don't understand.
Yeah, Pax has the weirdest look on his face. Like, it's part Shaho's feline curiosity and part... What? Just what? And eventually he's like, what is that? I've never in all my days seen something like that.
Can I hear him asking this question? I know he's in the other cart.
Roll a perception check for me, just to see if you just catch it on the wind.
9.
No, you mainly hear the go of wagon wheels and whinny of horses.
Well, Zasa's a wizard, and she's very, very smart. And so, for some reason beyond my intellect, decided that we needed a plant that flies? Maybe for messages? I don't know. But it's some sort of magic-y thing. You'll have to ask her when she's awake, frankly.
Oh, well, it's certainly magic. I've never seen anything ever like this before, and I've seen a lot of weird things.
You
When you
know,
described it flying over, like flapping,
Yeah.
instead of a cactus, I was picturing an aloe plant, which doesn't make it any less spiky.
Well, it can totally be an aloe plant. If we think aloe plant works better, it can be a spiky aloe plant doing the same thing. Whatever makes you all happiest, I'll leave it up to you. This is your creation that
Zasa's
you
plan.
got into this game.
Why the fuck do we have this thing again? Sorry, Marigold would remember. Rune is like in another planet at the moment, and
The whole reason.
Because they kept eating the bird.
Yeah.
The bird messengers.
And we wanted a way to communicate with Sina in places that don't have plants.
Right. Okay, Marigold would remember that and explains it properly after a moment of staring blankly into space. Because he's tired and it's been a long day.
So, Pax is like, all right. I mean, if you're trying to get a hold of Sina, I guess the flying plant is as good a way as any, I guess. And, you know, I guess things are less likely to try and eat whatever the hell that is. I mean...
We should name it.
So, as second watch rolls around, Zaza, do you wake up or are you still sleeping?
Let's find out. Hi. Nope.
Okay, so you're still sleeping. The plant kind of like hovers for a second, like flapping its little spiky wings, and then it thunks down again. Roll a perception check just to see if this kind of wakes you at all from your slumber. If you hear this weird thunking sound beside you. Okay, so you did hear a weird thunking, fluttering sound beside you. Which doesn't have any clear, reason you could think of. You could choose to keep sleeping, though, if you think you'd be like, whatever.
Are we under attack again?
Caravan's about to settle down to sleep, I think, since she did the first watch with Shaho. Oh, I think your friend sent the plant, so it probably wants to talk to you.
That makes a surprising amount of sense. Yes.
And so the plant, as it's sitting beside you, it sees you wake up and it shakes its little planty body, as if it's happy to see you. It gives you a little shimmy, and then it uncurls one of its if it's an aloe plant, one of its aloe sprig things, and a letter is within it, and it's kind of displayed out to you.
Fantastic. I'll just reach in there and not stab myself.
You get prickled a little bit. It's nothing major, but you get a little bit of a sting. But you are able to retrieve the letter. You see that this letter is from Tarvish. He's like, I did it, and here you go. I don't know why you need this, but proof of concept. Everyone will be using one soon. Enjoy. And it's a flourish. Tarvish's name is signed, and there's some sort of copyright notice down at the bottom, copywriting the flying plant. It looks like it's been notarized.
I hadn't thought about it, but I think this could be a real competitor for the USPS and Zoom, because it's you don't have to, it doesn't take a lot of magic. You just have to do it the once at the beginning to get it going. And then there's no upkeep because it's a plant. You just have to water it. Or if you're sending it through a rainy place, you don't even have to do that. And it's not weird like the birds can be, where they seem to be weirdly smart and then they're watching you when you're just trying to live your life.
I like the birds, actually, but
You're in another wagon.
Right! Sorry, can't hear you. Over the sound of me strumming my guitar awkwardly. I really like the birds, they're beautiful today. I don't know what I'm talking about, because I can't hear you, hey. Sorry.
One thing you do notice is that you will have to water it. Tarvish has provided some care instructions, just basic care. Water it, make sure it gets sun. If it starts to look wilty, take it out of the sun. If it's going a long distance, you'll need to get a little watering orb, which you should be able to get, at a garden center of some sort. He wasn't able to provide one, but it seems it's pretty thirsty right now because it didn't have that watering orb.
I have water skins.
Okay. Do you give your new plant friend the water?
Yes.
Feed that little baby.
It hops around, does a little flutter and the plop, and then shakes its leaves. Are you going to name it?
Name it.
I feel like Megan has it, the flying thorny aloe plant. It's got to be Spike.
So you feel this come to you, the idea of, I think it should be named Spike, and it, as soon as you say the word Spike, it does a little happy shimmy again, and then just flutters to go just kind of like sit in a nice spot of sun to enjoy its relaxation after successfully delivering its letter.
Oh my god.
Best,
Little plant.
best plant pal ever.
I picked the wrong wagon.
Where do you think your wagon was first or second? Because if your wagon's second, you can see all this happening. If your wagon's first, unfortunately, you can't.
I
Kai?
think I'm leading.
Yeah, I think with Shaho's amazing eyesight,
Yeah.
we would want her
Yeah.
to be in front.
Okay, so unfortunately
Sure.
you can't see, but I'm sure there'll be other cute moments with this weird, adorable plant at a later date.
Scarred Lands is a dark fantasy, guys.
Not when I run it.
Not with
No.
this cast.
Funeral one moment, and then a spiky plant friend the next.
Yep, I had to bring y'all up again. I brought you down. I had to,
Sorry about that.
you know, we had to have a funeral, and now you get a cute friend. So you keep traveling. It seems like the way is less dangerous than it was the first time you came through. It looks like the spiders are minding their business. Maybe Narcissa and Nev had a little word with them to
Don't
make
eat
sure you
our
had safe
girlfriend.
passage. Yep. You do see a couple spiders like peeking out of the little holes, and if any of you spoke spider, you would hear, "Oh, I think that's her. Oh, yeah, that's her." As they watch on as the party continues.
Does Caravan do a little float wave?
Hands, elbow, hands, elbow.
What?
As you are traveling, though, it's going to take you, a little while to get back to the boat crossing, the little town that had sprung up there, the outpost. But you do see that there's something else in the distance coming at you. Perceptions checks, please. Anybody who'd be awake.
Oh, no. I think I'm awake. I'm awake. Sure, I'm awake. I only need 4 hours of
I'm
sleep.
getting tired.
Okay, so Marigold and Caravan.
Yeah, what up?
You see something small and bright red heading your way. It keeps going. It's getting closer. As it gets closer, you noticed, it's the USPS. Another letter is on its way. You're very popular people today.
It's probably for Kai or Marigold. So Caravan's assuming it's
Kai.
going to the other cart and just leans back.
So it keeps heading this way, and the bird shows up, and it flaps around for a minute, and it doesn't seem to know which cart to go into because it sees that members of the party are in both carts. Eventually, it goes to the front cart, and then just kind of like hops around for a minute, and then sticks out its leg where there is a little piece of parchment attached, and then the little pouch for gold. It doesn't seem like it cares necessarily who gets this letter.
Caravan, can you grab this letter?
Cried in my end.
Yeah, okay, sure. And she will take the letter out and unroll it to see who it's addressed to.
So, this letter
Excuse me.
is addressed to all of you.
Oh,
Do you stop the carts to gather around?
It seems like this letter is for all of us. Should we try to get everybody to read it now or wait till we get to a good stopping point?
Does it
or-
seem safe to...
Yeah, Shaho, you take a look around. It's kind of getting closer to night. It might be a good time to stop and rest anyway, and there doesn't seem to be anything particularly dangerous. You don't see any bandits around. You don't see any spiders beyond the ones that are just, poking their heads out of the crevices to say
I've
hi.
always wanted to say this. Let's circle the wagon.
at least we haven't died of dysentery. Wait, what's dysentery?
Can we make a circle with 2 wagons?
We can
No.
definitely try. Give me an axe.
Oh, just like the line. They're a little...
They have
Make
parallel
a-
lines.
We can make an equal sign.
And, I mean, you have the horses.
Equal
Maybe you can
wagons.
kind of
back them up against each other.
Yeah. I think there's probably a way. So you all bed down for the night, get everything set up. Yasi is looking better. He's not looking quite as, peaky, not as pale, not as sweaty. And Thenia is able to put a little bit more weight on her legs. She's still taking it easy, but it looks like whatever you guys were able to do certainly helped. And she was able to rest, rebind in the wagon.
Since we're gonna rest up here before the night is over, I will just do that to kind of speed it up.
Okay, yeah. So she, comes over to you and you're able to help her out even more, do a little bit extra. You probably rebind it, maybe reset it, now that we've had some time. Make sure everything's in the right place, basically. It probably hurts a little, but, using Cure Wounds, you're able to make that binding process go faster. And once you're done, she's able to put a fair amount of weight on the leg. She's still a little slow, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was before. And Pax
Zasa's going to try and help
go ahead.
by casting Prestidigitation and telling her that it's a healing spell. Get that placebo effect.
Roll deception. Pretty good. So, Thenia believes you. She's like, that little extra really put me over the edge. I'm feeling pretty good considering I thought I was going to die earlier today. And her spirits are a little bit raised. Everyone's just being so nice and helping them out. As you do, after everyone settles down, Pax actually starts cooking dinner for everybody, using the fire to kind of scrounge up something, using his ranger skills.
I just read chat.
What? Let me check. I'm curious. Marigold, what were you rolling insight for?
To see if I believed Zasa.
I think you do. You believe it.
You know what? Actually, Zasa, I had no idea you were experienced in medicine, but it makes sense. You do know so much about so many things.
It's a minor skill. I'm still working on it.
Learning is the best part of living.
Zasa's just very successfully talking out of her ass.
For once, Marigold has no idea.
Pax is cooking. He was able to, get some, actually find some, he set a trap. He caught a deer, there's some really good food.
A real ranger.
Yeah, he's a real ranger. He seems to be really well equipped to be out in the wild. Less equipped to be down in a pit dying, but pretty competent when he's actually out, surviving in the wilderness. And so, as you're all sitting down to this really hearty dinner, you pull out the letter again.
Food.
And who would like to read the letter?
I want to, since I have it.
No,
Okay.
I'll lean over Caravan's shoulder if she lets me. But I'll let Caravan read it.
Okay, so I'll send the text to you, Megan, so you can read it.
Oh, can't wait to read to the group in Caravan's voice.
There you go.
Great.
It's very short. It's just a little quick missive. It's addressed to everybody.
Okay, this letter is from Keela or Kyla, I don't know. It says, I have the glass for the spyglass, and my friend has been alerted to our visit. There's a trading outpost on the border river near the Fouled Forest and the spires of Garax, and meet them there as soon as we can.
Oh,
Yay!
neat.
So yeah, it looks like Keela has successfully gotten the glass that she needed to fix the spyglass for you. Excuse me. And she's asking you to meet essentially where you're already going. She knew that you all would be around this area, but it looks like, and she had mentioned that her friend was at a trading outpost or near a trading outpost on the border river. So by the time you all get back, she should be there waiting for you.
Oh, Delightful.
Excellent.
But that is where we're going to leave it today because we are almost at time, and I want to give you all plenty of time to talk about your stuff. Next week, you'll get back to the trading outpost. You'll get to see Keela. You all will be able to try to find the someone who knew the traders who disappeared, and other fun things. So, who wants to talk themselves out first?
I can go. My name is Megan. I usually live on the Chromatic Chimera. However, I don't do everything every week over there. So the next time you can see me, if you want to hang out again, is actually here on the Onyx Path next week. I'll be here doing the same thing with all my friends again. And you should come because it was a good time and we will have another good time.
Very nice, very nice. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. I have a bunch of stuff, and today I get to actually paste links.
Oh, yes,
so
you can
first, so first thing is that the Technocracy Reloaded campaign, Kickstarter campaign is still going on. We have another 19 days for that. There are all sorts of really cool things. If you play Mage the Ascension, Mage the Awakening, or Mage 20th Anniversary Edition, the material in it will work for whatever edition. Some of the stats might take a little bit of fiddling, but there are like 50 plus gadgets, like 20 NPCs, loads of information about the blah, 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 blah. Loads of information about the Technocracy, how you can either play a Technocracy campaign or you can incorporate the Technocracy into your Traditions campaign, Orphans, or even the Disparates. And I also have the Technocracy Reloaded Twitch stream, which is on Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Pacific. I don't know the other times. Do math on your own. That's your homework. It's a lot of fun. We have about half of the authors of Technocracy Reloaded either running or playing the game, including Satyr, Phil Bricato. We also have a number of other folks who are more experienced with Mage the Awakening or have no Mage experience at all. Abby Ekenezer is there. She is fantastic. You might know her from all sorts of things because Abby is like the hardest working actress I know. So that's every Tuesday. And I have my own books to plug that I actually get royalties on, so that's nice. In the next week or so, a short story anthology, including my short story, Be Fae, Do Crimes, is coming out, and it's super fun. So that's what I got.
Sweet.
Yay! Who's next?
I'll go next. I'm Candy. I am the DM of the Dicey Amazons Twitch channel. Our next stream is tomorrow at 11 a.m. We're doing the Dicey Amazons presents Dicey Debates, which are based off of drunken debates, but some of us have to work. So and those people might be watching the stream. So we'll be debating a bunch of weird stuff against each other and seeing how that works. We're very silly, so it should be fun. But other than that, we're almost streaming every day now with video game streaming as well. I just did my first video game stream last night playing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
And you did
it was
great.
a lot of fun. Thank you for coming and watching us,
You're welcome.
Corinne. But I'll be doing that Tuesday in the AM, probably like 11:30 or so, and then Friday evenings, and then D&D next week, Sunday. Fun times.
Very exciting. Right now, it looks like Hiromi put in the Dicey Amazons Twitch, so check that out.
Oh, thank you.
And then here is Chromatic Chimera. So there's that one. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right, you're up.
I'm Shawnee with Showcat Cosplay across all my social media. So if you want to check out some of the cosplay that I do, be sure to go and stop by there. You can catch me again Saturday, being my regular Manticore kitty cat self. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please go over to the Wander of Ivy podcast and you can check out an interview about me. It's really fun. I talk a lot, more than I probably do in this stream. And yeah.
All right, I'm gonna find a link for that. But while I do, Rune, you're up.
Hi, I'm Runesail. I'm known as Rune just about everywhere you can find me as Runesail. I play a lot of elves and wizards on the internet, and you can find me here and on my own channel at Runesail and on Goldheart Gaming on Mondays. I also have a very big announcement that I'm super proud of. I did work with Cubel 7 for Warhammer's Age of Sigmar Soulbound tabletop role-playing game. It is currently #1 on drive-thru, which is really surreal for me. And it's so I did art for all of the Isharans, and I did the Trade Pioneer and some other stuff for that. So go check it out. Please pre-order it if you like. Physical copies will probably be shipping in Q4. Cross your fingers. But for now, you can get the PDF and have a look at that. But yeah, no, I do art stuff. I do role-playing stuff. I'm all over the place everywhere. So.
Rune, if you want to get me a link for that, I'll post that in the Twitch as well.
Do you want?
Already got you.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there, yeah, you did. And then finally, because we're here on Onyx Path, definitely check out the Scarred Lands Player Guide. It is fantastic. We're having a lot of fun with it. You can really go a lot of places in this setting, so check it out. Finally, I am Corinne. I run this game. You can find me as Manic Pixie Girl on Twitter or on Roll the Roll, which is my home channel. I hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all come back next week. We have exciting stuff every week because this party always surprises me. And if they're creative, I'm not going to stop them because creativity is the name of the game. But yeah, I have a blast running this, and I hope you all have just a fantastic night. Stay safe, be well, and have a a good week.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Bye,
Yes,
everyone.
please.
Bye.
Wear a mask outside.
Bye.
Please.
Bye.
Bye. And let me put this up. There we go.